Sorry, I apologize for asking you to name happy emotions. So joy is one, sure. Yeah. What's that?
Good and evil is basically your morals.
Yeah, so basically good and evil are your morals. So now if I ask you where do you derive your ideas of morals from, where, like what's right and wrong in life, what's good and evil, where does this come from? What's that? The law? Okay. Would we say it's immoral to speak? Yeah? Okay, so is it immoral to, let's see, oh, in Missouri, is it immoral to water your lawn on Sundays?
No.
That's the law. But in California you're allowed to do it, so does that mean it's evil and immoral in Missouri, but it's not evil or immoral in California? So now it sounds like we're saying that that good and evil kind of vary and change depending on where we are. Location. So if that's the case, then can murder be okay somewhere and not okay someplace else?
Yeah.
So where would murder be okay?
Anywhere, actually.
Because if it really is about the law, then I guess my question is, then why do you break the law? If it's really about rules, then why do you show up late? That's immoral, isn't it? It's all about that. Or is it about something else? Or is it just that we never think about it? Because maybe the fact of the matter is that most good and evil is done by people who never make up their minds to be good or evil. They just do things and they don't think about the consequences of it. Like if you're late, why do you think that teachers care if you're late? You really have no idea why.
You missed out on the teaching.
What's that?
You're missing out on the teaching.
You think that I really think that I have that much to teach you that if you miss a minute and a half of my teaching, that you're going to suffer in life?
No.
No. No, because if you're the person who's going to be doing that, you're not the person who's going to be paying attention for the first minute and a half anyway. In other words, if it's not important to you, it's not important to you, whether you're here or not. So that doesn't make a difference to me. So what else? And by the way, it's important because we don't think of it this way. What's that?
It shows the teacher that you don't care about the classroom.
So why would it matter to me if you don't care about the class? If you don't turn stuff in, if you just sit there and stare at your phone the whole time, that means I have to grade less stuff. I told you there's a reason that almost 75% of my 10th graders fail the class. And it's not because the work is so hard. It's not because I don't give you time to do this. These journals are due next week. And we've been sitting here talking now for 25 minutes. And very few people have progressed at all in their writing while we've been sitting here talking. And yet we'll still sit there and go, I don't know what to write. I post everything online. I post different versions of the same talk online. You can go find out. You can listen to what people are saying. And yet we don't use the time, so I don't know that that's the case. So why else would it be the problem? By the way, if we don't figure this out, it's very, very telling. And it should be something that stands out to us. Can you not think about yourself for 30 goddamn seconds and figure out why it's a problem? Just so you know, I'm going to throw a time-lapse camera, a time-lapse thing in the bottom of the right-hand corner of this YouTube thing. I'm just going to throw it out there. I asked them this question, and we sat there for 9 minutes.
Everyone else.
Everybody else who's around you, whether you're friends or not. When you come in, people do this. You shuffle things around. People are moving around. And if you don't even know, and I don't think that, by the way, I don't think that you would notice this. I'm not chastising you. I'm just narrating the case. You probably don't even realize this. You come in and you distract people. You're shuffling papers. People who are here and are doing things. This is why, like I said, if you want to be late, whatever. It's between you and Laura. As long as you don't come in and be obnoxious, as long as you don't have distraction. Same also, by the way, if you're sitting there, you want to stare at your desk and not do anything, that's fine with me. I'm working on a lot of stuff over there. I'm constantly working. I'm not just sitting here watching pug videos on YouTube. But as long as you don't distract me, and you want to fail a class, and then you also, by the way, want to pay me $73 an hour later on to retake it in credit recovery, okay. I guess that's on. And you do the exact same thing, but just now have to do it, okay. I didn't realize that we had that kind of a connection. You want to spend more time with me, double your amount of time with me. after school. I think it's a little weird, but teach his own. Because it's not about you, though. It's about the people around you who you're distracting with it. Now, by the way, some teachers, I'm sure, do get frustrated. Do get irritated because they feel like it's a disrespectful towards them and whatever. I don't take much personally. I get that. This doesn't bother me. But it's not about you. And so you can understand, hopefully, not even saying that you agree with it. I'm not saying I'm not asking you to do that. I'm asking you, hopefully you understand now that perspective. And that something that's so obvious to a lot of people is completely unobvious to you. When you come in, you don't even realize that when you're walking in, people are turning their heads and everything, people are getting distracted, and that's costing them learning and all that. A lot of our life is like that, and a lot of our morals are like that. One of the things that when we determine what's good and evil, yeah, it's based off of the effect that you have on other people around you. If you, like I said, lying, it isn't just about you. It's that you change the course of another person's life. And beyond that, it's not even suicide when it comes down to that. It isn't even about you. It's about the impact on people that you don't even realize you're going to have an impact on. It's much broader than just that. And people say, oh, it's a cowardly thing. Whatever. No, it's not. But it is deeply impactful on people around you, and you're going to deeply impact people who don't deserve that kind of a thing to happen in their lives. It's not, we have to stop thinking that so much of what we do is just about us. If any of you guys think that it's just about you, I wonder if any of you have alcoholic parents or drug-addicted parents. It's just about them. Why shouldn't they be allowed to drink? Why shouldn't they be allowed to do drugs? It's just about them, right? No, because the things that we do impact people all around us. And so maybe this is how we come up with these notions of good and evil. Because we understand that good are the things that impact the people around us positively. Evil are the things that impact people around us negatively. And when we start thinking about it this way, good and evil now starts to materialize in some kind of a meaningful way. Because you live among people. We have a responsibility towards people. Why? Because they have a responsibility towards you. And if none of us have any responsibility towards anybody, well, let's just start the fires now. Let's just burn it all down now. And of course, the people who get most excited about that, I find, are typically the people who will be less capable of surviving in something like that. And so, what we do out of love, the things that we do out of obligation, the things that we do out of action, because it's the right thing to do, happens beyond good and evil. It happens beyond these judgments, because good and evil, if we're talking about social things, whatever I think is going to be good, obviously if I'm selfish, I'm looking at it for myself. And whatever I'm thinking of as evil, of course I'm looking at it with regards to myself. But good and evil are much broader than just your own very narrow perception of yourself. You have to broaden it out and see the impact of these things on everybody around you. Because if you're having a bad day, and you just had to cut somebody off in traffic, understand, you've made the world a worse place. Let me say that again. You've made the world a worse place. And I wonder if you really looked at your life every day, and at the end of the day, objectively, not with your arms folded and I don't care, because you will. You will. Believe that. But instead, we look at it objectively. Did I make the world a better place today or a worse place today? Did I do these kinds of things that introduced more evil into the world? Or did I at least kind of neutralize, did I at least kind of stay neutral, keep the world a neutral place? Or, I don't know, man, God willing, did I make the world a better place today? That's a pretty lofty thing. That's a very lofty thing. But, many of us, I think, if we looked at our actions and we saw them this way, we could see it and go, frick, at least in this one little way today, I made the world a worse place. Just like when somebody comes along and dumps some crap into your life, they make your day worse, you're probably not the only person that's happened to for them. The world's broader than just us. The world's much broader than just us. And so the things that we do out of duty resonate throughout history, resonate throughout time. And yeah, that sounds pretty dramatic. So I'll at least say this much. At least it resonates throughout your day, and everybody else that you interact with. And if you compile enough of those days at the end, I guess at the end you can look back and say to yourself, I lived a good life, or I lived an evil life. But like I said, most good and evil is done by people who never set their minds to do good or evil. They just set their minds to live. Maybe if we set our minds more towards good, we'd have a better world. But then we have less stuff to bitch about on social medias too. So I guess that's the trade-off. So, questions, comments, concerns, complaints, criticisms, critiques? All right. Someday we're going to figure out what love is, by the way. Well, just not today.